In this lesson, you will be learning what target audience segmentation is, as well as how to develop your buyer persona. You will learn about purchase drivers, so what makes a consumer purchase a certain product, as well as targeted content and other uses for buyer personas. Let's jump into target audience segmentation. When we're looking at target audience segmentation, we want to look at the method of segmenting our audience. So we'll have the STP method, and that is segmentation, which is based on various factors, which we will take a look at now. Targeting, so selecting the relevant target market, and then also positioning your product for that specific market. And this is one of the most commonly applied marketing methods practiced in modern marketing. Previously, most marketing approaches were based around products and product differentiation from your competitor, rather than on the consumer. However, with all the online noise, focusing on your customer is the only way to get ahead. So what are some of the benefits of audience segmentation? First of all, it helps you to develop and deliver personalized and relevant content to more commercially appealing audiences. So you're driving higher quality leads through your sales funnel who are more likely to convert. It also helps you to be more effective with your communication, as you are able to select the most relevant segments for your business and then develop your marketing mix and position your product for each of those various segments. It also helps you to identify specific niches that have very specific needs. And then you can also target mature markets to find new customers and deliver more focused and effective marketing messages. When we're looking at our audience segmentation, how would we segment our audience? There are a number of ways that we can do this. We can base it on demographics, which, as you know, is age, gender, income, education, ethnicity, marital status, education, household, or even profession. We can also break them down by psychographics, which would be personality and behavioral traits. And these are linked to purchase choices, including their attitudes, their lifestyle, hobbies, risk aversion, and personality. Then we can also choose lifestyle itself as a segment. This would include their hobbies, recreational pursuits, entertainment, or even vacations. We can also segment them by their beliefs and their values, so whether they're religious, political, nationalistic, or even cultural beliefs. We can analyze them or segment them based on their life stages. Generally, we have a chronological benchmarking of our lives. We go to school, we go to college, we work, we get married, we have kids, we retire, etc. So think back to our example of the American Express Tina Fey campaign, where it congratulates people on #adulting moments. For instance, meeting the in-laws, getting married, moving in together, whatever the case is. We all have certain things that we will all do within our lifetime. So you can target your audience based on that. And then you can also break them down by geography. Consider your country, whether you're drilling it down by region, area, population density. You can also segment your audience by behavior. What is the nature of their purpose? Is it because of brand loyalty? Is it the level of usage? Is it because of the benefits that your product or service provides, distribution channels, or the reaction to marketing factors? And then finally, you can also segment your audience based on benefit. So what is the use and satisfaction gained from using your product or service? But in order to be able to break your audience down like this or segment your audience like this, we have to know who our audience is. And for that, we need buyer personas. We took a brief look at buyer personas in lesson 3 of module 1. So before we begin, can you remember what a buyer persona is? You can simply type in A, B, C, or D into the chat box in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. So do you think a buyer persona is an individual who is addicted to shopping? Is it the person in charge of buying products? Is it a semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer? Or do you think it's someone who enjoys buying products? I'm sure that we all enjoy buying products, but specifically related to social media marketing, what is a buyer persona? And the answer is, drumroll, the answer is C. So a buyer persona is a semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer based on market research and real data about your existing customer. So I'm going to show you how to develop your semi-fictional representation based on market research as well as based on data. And there is a template in your toolkit where you can fill out your buyer persona information. But first, let's take a look at what the purpose of a buyer persona really is. Ultimately, your buyer persona should identify how, when, and why the buyer makes the decisions that they do. When you purchase a product or service, why are you doing it? Generally, we are purchasing a product because of a need, so we need food to survive, or we purchase a product because of a want. I want to go on holiday. And as humans, we all have basic needs and wants, and the emotion is often the driver of action. And for most of us, it will be the same. People want to gain health, self-confidence, time, improved appearance, comfort, leisure, as well as enjoyment. We also want to save time, discomfort, risks, money, worry, embarrassment, or doubts. Very often, we want to be efficient. We want to be up to date, first in things. We want to be proud of our possessions. We want to be influential. And finally, we want to express ourselves, appreciate beauty in life, as well as improve ourselves. These are some of the main drivers that drive people to purchase products. So when you're looking at your people, determine what exactly your product will give them in terms of these wants and needs. Where then do we start developing our buyer persona? Well, first we want to look at our target audience. In lesson 3 of module 1, I set the challenge of developing your target audience, so you should have a good idea of who your target audience is. And once we know that, we then want to break our target audience down into specific buyer personas. Now, you might have more than one target audience, and that's fine. Then you'll also have more than one buyer persona. If you are a startup company, I would limit your buyer personas to as little as possible, a maximum of 3. If you're a larger company with varying products, you might then want to have multiple buyer personas as well as target audiences, depending on your different products as well as your different departments or different services. But for this lesson, we're going to use one example to create a buyer persona. Let's say that we have a new health app. It's called Health Me, and it offers a variety of features such as calorie counts. It gives you reminders about exercising. You can set goals for your week, and it also provides you with support and motivation every day to eat right, to keep healthy. It has drink water reminders. So all the things you need to be healthy and fit and happy. That is what it's got. We know that we have our target audience, and our target audience looks something like this. We want to target males and females, mostly between the ages of 25 to 34, in the area of London to start off with. They'll probably have a college education, and they are in a mid to senior management position with an income of about 50 to 80,000 per annum. And they might be engaged, might be married. If we look at their age range, they could go either way. Their personality is an activist shopper, so they're health conscious, they're environmentally conscious, they're socially conscious, and they also have a very active lifestyle. They're open-minded and liberal, and they enjoy exercise and outdoor activities. But this is not exactly enough to tell us what this person wants and needs or how to target them. So what we want to then do is maybe break our target audience down. And we want to first look at breaking them down by age, because someone who is 25 to 29 is not going to respond the same way or have the same challenges, the same motivators as someone who is 30 to 34. When you're 25 to 29, you're still young, your metabolism is only just starting to slow down. And so weight might not be an issue. Maybe it is more around fitness and health and maintaining your body. Whereas 30 to 34, your metabolism is definitely slowing down, not having a good time with that. And so we want to try and either lose weight or make sure that we don't put on too much weight. And then again, we know that we're targeting males and females. So in each of these age groups, there will be a female target and there will be a male target. But of course, at this point, it's a guess, and we want to confirm the information that we have. Before launching our app, we've decided that we've set up a website and we've set up a few social media platforms just to try and get some data. And what we'll then do is we will look at our Google Analytics. And if you go to Audience, Demographics, and Overview, you will then get your gender and age information. So we can see here we've had some visitors to our website, and the main age range is 25 to 34, so that confirms our suspicions. And then with our gender, we can see that we have about a 62 to 37% split for male to female. So we're seeing more males coming through. So we know that we want to then gear some content towards males on our website, but we don't want to exclude the females, because when we start analyzing our other websites, such as Facebook, if we go to our insights and look at our people, here we can see that we have an almost even split between men and women. Still more men than women, but our age range again is also 25 to 34. So when we become a bigger company, we'd want to then expand that out to our 18 to 24 as well as our 35 to 44. But for now, we're just going to keep it simple and we're going to stick with our middle age range here. But we can see there that there's an even split between women and men. So we then want to ensure that we have equal content across our Facebook channel. And then maybe we also want to look at our Twitter. So we go to our analytics and we look at our audience. And here again, we can see our gender split, more females than males. So maybe on Twitter, we want to concentrate our content towards females as opposed to males. So this is really, really useful information so that you know what content to create on which platforms and targeting which audiences. At this point, we will have something that looks like this. Here we have our younger female and male, and then we have our older female and male. And why we want to do this is because for each of these personas, they're going to be at different life stages, they're going to have different values, they're going to have different goals, as well as challenges and motivators. And all are different. And for that reason, the content that you produce, as well as the platforms that you use and the devices that you focus on will all be different for each of these personas. For this lesson, we are going to take a look at one of these personas and we're going to develop that. So we have here committed Kathy, and we want to first start off with filling in the information that we do know. So we know that we want to target someone who is 25 to 29. So we're going to give her an average age of 26. We know that she's female. We want someone with a college education. We want someone with the average income of 50 to 80,000 per annum. We want someone who is active because it's an exercise app. And we also want them to be interested in exercise as well as outdoor activities. Once we've filled in the information that we do know, we can also then build upon that with data analysis. So what exactly can we gauge from our data analysis? We can confirm her occupation. We can get more information about her average income. We can look at her marital status, expand on her hobbies and interests, as well as identify the specific platforms as well as devices that this persona uses. We want to then jump onto our LinkedIn maybe, and we'll have a look at our visitor demographics. And here we can see what job functions they have. Most of them are business development, marketing, sales, education, human resources. So we can start to get a really good idea of what our followers are, what job roles they have. And we're going to go with human resources because we think that she has an office job. Human resources is somewhere in the middle. So let's go with human resources. So we can now fill in that specific information. So we know what her occupation is. We're going to take a look on Twitter, and under Twitter, we can see what the average household income categories are. So here we can see we've got 75 to 99,000. We've also got a 60 to 74,000, which is the closest range that we have. And it's also ideal because 11% of our followers are within that category. So we're going to then fill in more specific information as to what we think her income is. So there we have it. We've got now more detailed information about what she is earning. And then we can also go back to our Twitter, and here we can see the marital status of our audience, and we can see that more people are single than married. So we can choose single for her, especially because we know that she's in the younger age range. And I think that if we had to target our older age range, we would probably put them down as married, because we can see there's an almost even split between single and married. So we can then fill that information in there. So now we can see that this is coming together nicely. We're getting a lot more detailed information about who our buyer persona is. And we can expand on our hobbies and interests by going to our Google Analytics. You can go to Audience, Interests, and Overview. And here you can see the affinity categories. So we can start to see what kind of interests our audience has. And this is really, really useful information. So technology, lifestyles and hobbies, or living green or green living, as well as sports and fitness, of course. So this is the kind of person that we're targeting. Now we know that we can start to create content for this person around maybe sports tech, around how to live more greenly, and then also sports and fitness. So we want to give them advice on what they enjoy. We can also see some in-market segments, so not really at this point relevant to what we would want to create in terms of content, but this is always useful to know. And then if we look at our other categories, we can also see that this person is into arts, entertainment, celebrities, as well as internet and smart, again, technology. So sports tech, they're obviously, of course, into sports and news, as well as soccer teams. From here, we could then start interviewing famous sports stars or famous runners if we want, or famous exercise gurus. Here we can start to get a better idea of some of their other interests, and we can target content or create content around these topics. And if we explore further on Twitter, we can also see some interests. So animals, of course. So maybe we could do exercising with your dog, where to go with your dog in London, for instance, and where to exercise. Also, again, technology is coming up. So new sports tech and how it works, as well as any sports news, what's happening in sports, and of course, sporting events. So we want to then leverage our marketing off of any sporting events. If we look at our consumer buying styles, we can see they're into premium brands. They want quick and easy, home cooking, fresh and healthy. They might be weight conscious. Again, that would be our older age category, natural living, as well as vegetarian. So then we can start providing recipes on vegetarian, healthy cooking, places in London to get fresh and healthy food, when you're weight conscious, what to do, as well as a whole range of exciting content, especially around premium brands. So what brands are best for running, for instance. And then we can start to fill this information in when we look at our buyer persona. So now not only do we have exercise and outdoor activities, but we have a whole lot of hobbies and interests that we think this person would be interested in. And then we want to confirm the platforms as well as devices that our buyer persona is using. So we can go to Google. Of course, we can look at some industry reports on the most used social media platforms by millennials, because in lesson 3, we learned about differentiating by generations, and this is a millennial generation. So we want to know that our millennials mostly will use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And those are the top performing social media platforms for this specific generation. But that might not be relevant to our company or to our app. So we then want to go back into our Google Analytics. And if you go to acquisition and social overview, you can then see what the top performing social networks are. You have YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We can then add this information into our buyer persona. So now we have specific platforms that we want to focus on. And then finally, we want to identify the specific devices that they use. So we can go back onto our Google Analytics, and if you go to audience, mobile, and overview, here you can see what device categories these people are using. And we've identified that most of our users go through desktop as well as mobile. So we want to ensure that our content is responsive to both desktop as well as mobile, and then it looks awesome. And then we can add that information into our persona. So you can slowly see how we are building up our persona and getting more information through our data analysis. But we still have a whole lot of information that we need to fill in. So we want to then turn to what information we can source from our market research. And this will be the more personalized information that you can't always guess. So we're looking at the bio, social activities, brand affinity, what their daily challenges are, goals, motivators, deterrents, and content likes. And market research can be done through a variety of options. You can do online polls. This is most useful when you already have a lot of market research and you just want to confirm one or two aspects. Then you can run polls in your social media. You can also do online surveys through email. If you have a customer base, you can send them an email with a request to complete a survey. You can also run this through a competition. So reward someone for filling in the survey. And then you can also host focus groups or even one-on-one interviews. This would be geared more towards larger companies, but is particularly useful when you have absolutely no market research whatsoever. And then finally, you can also try phone surveys. This would be a cheaper option, but these are the options that you can use for market research. So we now have gone and done our market research. We've run a focus group and we've done a few surveys as well as a few online polls just to confirm one or two things. And now what we have is completed information about our buyer persona. So we know what their challenges are. And Kathy's challenges will be that she doesn't always get to exercise. Maybe she's busy, maybe she's tired. She's also not sure what meal plan to follow, and she has limited knowledge of healthy eating. So we want to then create content around those challenges, as well as making sure that our products can tackle that. Maybe we have a reminder to exercise, a reminder to drink water, as well as a basic meal plan that she can follow, or how many calories she should eat a day in order to maintain her ideal weight. We also can now identify what her goals are. So she ultimately wants to start running marathons and she just wants to make sure that she keeps toned and that she stays healthy. We also know that her motivators are to get fit and eat healthy. Why? Because she wants to live a long, healthy life. She wants to make it to 80 or 100 or 120. Who knows where the future will go. And then her deterrents are the cost of the app. This is a paid app because it is very personalized, and maybe we've hired a nutritionist in the background who is able to make personalized meal plans based on the information that people provide. So there is a cost to the app, but we need to get her to understand why she wants to buy or pay for this app. And then we can also see the content that she enjoys. So mostly it's video. She's always on the go. She's busy. Blog posts, probably short form blog posts, or even infographics. So you can combine your blogs and your infographics together. Infographics are impactful and they give short, quick bursts of information. So she would really enjoy that. It also doesn't take too much of her time up. And then finally, we just want to round out our Kathy with the Myers-Briggs personalities, and we want to look more closely at what some of her personality traits are, because this will determine how we approach her and what content we produce. This information can also be attained through the market research that you do, but this is the easiest way. If you don't have budget for market research, you can always look at the Myers-Briggs personalities. And we did go over this in module 1 in lesson 3. And you can see here we've got analysts, sentinels, diplomats, and explorers. Now, the theory behind this is that all of us, no matter what country, religion, culture, we all fit into one of these 16 personalities. I myself am a mediator. I'm not sure whether you did the Myers-Briggs personality test, but I would love to know what personality you are. You can just type that into your chat box. But for this example, I would say that our Kathy is an executive because she's an excellent administrator, she's in human resources, and she's really good at managing things as well as people. And then if we look closer at our executive personality, the first thing that sticks out to me is good order is the foundation of all things. So you want to ensure that you target her. You want to say why, what, when, how. You want to ensure that the information that you provide to this person is orderly and it's straightforward. We can also see here that this person is honest and dedicated. That's awesome. And if we look at the insight of the day, executives are the most likely personality type to enjoy hunting for discounts. Fantastic. Now we know that we definitely need to offer discounts, and whether it's on our app or through a competition or whether it's on any of our additional products that we might be offering, then we want to offer discounts because this person is going to enjoy discounts. And then if we go further into their strengths and weaknesses, we can start to get a really, really good idea of who this person is. They're dedicated, strong-willed, direct and honest, loyal, patient, and reliable. Loyal is key. If you get this person as a customer, they will be extremely loyal to your product. They're also strong-willed, which means that they will stick to your product, and then you can just assist them with small hints. If we look at some of their weaknesses, they're inflexible, they're stubborn, they're uncomfortable with unconventional situations, they're judgmental, and they seem too focused on social status. we can use these weaknesses to our advantage. Hey, all your friends are super fit and cute and you probably don't feel the same. So use our app and you will be the same as your friends. So again, focus on social status so you can play in your content on all of their strengths and motivate them, as well as playing on their weaknesses. After this process, what we will have is something that looks like this. This is Committed Kathy, and we can see that we have all the relevant information that we have just gone through. Some additional information that you would need to fill in would be your product adoption group. So we've got a running mates section, which tracks your running and your heart rate and all that. We've also got the nutrition and eating plan, so we know that she's focused on health, and we're going to throw in there and try and upsell her on a Pilates exercise program, because that goes really well with running, to just stretch out those muscles and build some extra core. And we can see now we filled out our personality traits, so we know what person she is, we know what her challenges are, we know what her goals are, we know what motivators and deterrents are, we know what platforms she uses, and we want to target her on those platforms. We know what devices she uses, so we want to ensure that our content is responsive to those devices. And then we also see brands that she enjoys, so environmentally friendly and social causes. We want to ensure that we are highlighting our environmental impact as well as our social impact in order to target this person. And then we want to consider their buyer journey. So again, we've got awareness, consideration, purchase, retention, and advocacy. Once we have all of this information, what now? What do we do with it? What is going to happen? Well, you're going to start off with brainstorming your targeted content. And remember that you then want to align it with your buyer journey. You list your content types, what kind of posts you'll create, the topics that you'll cover, as well as the reason for that information. So on our awareness phase, we might want to create videos, blog posts, and infographics because we know that this persona enjoys that type of content. We'll do how-tos as well as interviews. And so some of our topics could be running warm-ups or cool-downs because we know that she wants to run marathons. We could also do running techniques, and we can interview famous runners or famous running coaches in order to provide more information about how to correctly run and how to save yourself from injury. And the reason for this would be to promote our product as well as to educate our audience. And then during the consideration phase, we might want to use videos and reviews. So we can do product demo videos and we can have testimonials. So how to use the app or how the app contributes to your running, how it improves your running, and then success stories of users. So people who have used the app, what have they gained from it? What is the outcome? A before and after kind of story. And that'll also then promote our product as well as inspire our user to use our product and inspire them to exercise and to look after themselves. To drive purchases, we want to maybe run discount campaigns as well as competitions. So offer a discount for a certain amount of time or run a competition to get a free trial or a year subscription, whatever the case is. And the topic can be maybe for New Year's. So of course, New Year, new you, get your exercise, be who you want to be. International Health Day, we could do a celebration for that. So again, taking trends and leveraging those trends to get more exposure on your content, as well as be offering free trials or free subscription. And then this would be, of course, again, to promote as well as to entertain, because competitions are always entertaining, and you could get them to post pictures of, what they want to look like or what their goals are, or of them doing a specific exercise. So that would be quite interactive and quite fun. And then, of course, we want to retain them. So we want to get their email address and we want to do it through blog posts. So we want to run any specials that we have. Maybe we have additional sports gear that we're selling, and so we can run specials on that. We can also do guides and planners. Again, linking to events. If there are specific marathons happening in London, we can then create a planner and a countdown up until that marathon and what you'd need to, or how much exercise you'd need to do each day in order to get fit for this certain marathon, what to eat, how to prepare, etc. And then you can leverage off of that events traction that they get online. You can also do how-tos. So looking at sports tech, exercise, nutrition, healthy cooking, and natural living, which brings in all of the interests that our persona enjoys. And this would be simply for pure education because they've already purchased our product, but we want to educate them on a continuous basis. And then hopefully at that point, they become an advocate because there's a lot of support and they feel that the brand cares. They will then advocate for this campaign and you can then use them in your testimonials and they might share your content. I really hope that this all makes sense and that everything we started learning is coming together nicely. And then you would put something together like this for each of your different buyer personas. So I hope that all this information is coming together nicely and that it all makes sense. There are also a lot of other reasons that you can use your buyer personas. So you can use your buyer personas to further define your audience as you gather more data about your customers. And then you can start to implement bullseye targeting or bullseye marketing. And this is when you align your products or services with the very specific consumers who are most likely to purchase them. And this is even more niche and even more specific than segmentation. You can also use your buyer personas to focus on certain media types and channels for certain segmented audiences. If you have an audience that you know would respond to a certain media type or only looks at one certain channel, then you would start targeting that audience on those media types and within those channels. You can improve your product or service offering based on what your customers want and need. Again, once you have more data and understand what they want and need, you can then make adjustments to your product or service in order to improve their user experience. And you can also improve how you distribute your product based on your buyer persona's wants and needs. Maybe you have a store and you find that your customers actually want products delivered to their door. So then you would have to incorporate an online store and ensure that you can courier that product to them. And finally, buyer personas can also help you to understand and empathize with your customer in order to create online communication that they resonate with and that will drive them to purchase your product or service. So it gives you some direction as to what communication you